What's going on, everybody? It's Royalty Crypto here and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do a deep dive on the token XLM, aka Stellar, which is one of the most stellar layer 1 blockchains in the space in my opinion. I also wanted to look at the overall crypto market as a whole and basically let you guys know what I'm going to be watching over the next couple of days, as we do have some pretty significant macro events happening on December 1st, so I will be talking about that later on in this video. Also guys, if you have any tokens that you want me to do a video review on, please drop them in the comment section, as I would be happy to do so. And this is a brand new crypto channel, so if you like crypto and investing, please make sure to like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate all the support. But without further ado, let's take a look at the crypto market. So as you guys can see, Bitcoin is currently trading at 90,500, which is down just a bit from yesterday and really the day before, as we did hit around 92,000 at one point, but since then we have lost just a little bit of momentum. In my opinion, guys, this is just because we are going through Thanksgiving and everybody's with their family and not really focused on trading crypto. Also, the stock market has been basically closed for the past 2 days, so we haven't seen nearly as much ETF inflows or outflows as we typically do. So in my opinion, I'm not too worried about this. I do believe that December 1st will be a very significant day for the price of Bitcoin and crypto, and we'll just have to see whether or not it ends up being a sell the news event or if we end up pumping on the news. Also guys, Ethereum is back below $3,000, currently trading at 2,977. But in my opinion, guys, Bitcoin is the more significant thing to focus on right now, because I do believe that basically all of the top altcoins are trading based on the price of Bitcoin. But alright guys, let's go ahead and scroll down to the 15th most valuable coin in the space right now, and that is XLM. As you guys can see, XLM is currently trading at 25.5 cents. It is up 1% in the past 24 hours, and it's up 12% in the past 7 days. So XLM is starting to have quite a nice recovery. We are at just over an $8 billion market cap, and we have 120 million in 24-hour trading volume. Typically our 24-hour trading volume is much higher than this, but just because of the fact that it's a holiday weekend, there's just not really much trading going on in the market. We have about 65% of the tokens in circulation, so you will be dealing with a little bit of inflation with this coin, but this is very standard for layer 1s in the space, and it's actually one of the better tokenomics for layer 1s, so I'm not too worried about that as well. But alright guys, let's take a look at the chart briefly here. So as you guys can see, when you're taking a look at the 1-year chart, we are trading around the yearly lows that we hit in late June and in early April of this year. So I do believe, guys, that if you are a fan of XLM and you think that XLM has a lot of potential, now would be the time to start dollar cost averaging back in. You always want to be buying when these tokens are in fear and not in greed. And as you can see, if you were buying back in July of this year, that would have been probably the worst time to be buying, because we had an incredible pump up to about 50 cents or so. And then since then, we've been on a steady downtrend. But guys, we are back down to about the 25-cent range, which is where we were before this pump. So as you guys can see, the price of XLM can move incredibly quickly. So I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if some of these macro events that are coming up, for example, the FOMC meeting with a potential rate cut, quantitative tightening ending, Jerome Powell being replaced later next year, stimulus checks coming around the corner, I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if we see some excitement enter the altcoin space again, and XLM has another very quick pump up to 50 cents. Obviously, this is not financial advice, but I do believe that that is a very real scenario. And guys, if I were to do a price prediction on this coin, I think that it is realistic to think that XLM could potentially hit around a $100 billion market cap if we have an incredible altcoin season sometime in 2026. Now, of course, hitting a $100 billion market cap is far from guaranteed, and I do recommend that you guys take profits on the way up. And if you guys are watching my videos, I'll let you guys know when I plan on taking profits in certain altcoins like XLM, and I think that that is the best way to approach a coin like this. Because if you are waiting for a $100 billion market cap, and say we go on an incredible run to like 60 to 70 billion, and we just never get to 100, you don't want to end up being the person that round trips their bag. So once some greed and excitement starts to return to the crypto market, I will be watching certain indicators and letting you guys know when I think it's a good idea to take profits. But of course, guys, make sure you do your own research and form your own opinions, as I am just a person on the internet and I am not a financial advisor. But alright guys, let's take a look at some XLM news as well. So the first one here, I believe, is the most important one to be watching right now, and that is that America's 5th largest bank, US Bancorp, is actively testing the issuance of a custom stablecoin on the Stellar network. This move is seen as a significant validation of Stellar's network for traditional financial institutions and is cited as a factor in recent positive price movements for XLM. So if they end up actually implementing this stablecoin on top of Stellar, this would undoubtedly undoubtedly be a very positive thing for the XLM network, because it does really go to show that institutions are interested in this project and trust its infrastructure. Another piece of news that actually already took place for XLM was the Protocol 23 upgrade. So this happened in early September, and this upgrade improved the network scalability and introduced other features, also lowered costs of transactions, and just overall made XLM's blockchain technology very competitive amongst other projects that are really testing the boundaries of layer ones like Sui and Sei. So the reason why I did want to mention this, guys, is because we actually have seen a Sell the News event happen with this upgrade. This happened in early September, and since then we are down almost 50% from those levels. So I don't think that that's a bad thing necessarily, unless you were obviously FOMOing like right before the upgrade came out, which was most likely the reason that we saw this pump here. But guys, yeah, I mean, the fact that this upgrade is improving the layer 1 technology on XLM, I do believe that this is a very beneficial thing for the long term. So the fact that you can now buy XLM at the same prices you were able to buy it at before the upgrade, I believe is a very bullish aspect of this coin. All right, guys, so now let's go ahead and talk about the overall crypto market as a whole. So as you guys can see, the sentiment is slowly but surely starting to flip bullish for the crypto market. We did bottom out on the Fear and Greed Index at a 10 just about a week ago, and we are now back up to a 20. So technically we are officially out of extreme fear. However, we are still well into fear, and in my opinion, whenever we see this much fear in the crypto market, it is a great time to be accumulating, especially when the macro outlook looks very positive. And in my opinion, I think that we have so many fantastic macro events to look forward to in 2026. So yeah, guys, not financial advice, but I have been dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin and top altcoins, and I plan on continuing to do so as long as we continue to experience this fear in the market. So as I mentioned before, make sure you do your own research, but in my opinion, it is a great time to be accumulating. All right, guys, and then the last thing that I wanted to take a look at today was just a couple of macro events that are happening on December 1st. So we have an official speech coming from Jerome Powell on December 1st, which is the same day that quantitative tightening is officially coming to an end in the US. So if you guys are unaware, we have been in quantitative tightening since about early 2022, and it is the main reason why I believe we have yet to see a parabolic altcoin season in crypto. Because when we are in quantitative tightening, there is a lack of liquidity in the overall economy, and I believe that crypto is driven by liquidity for the most part. So although we've had so many bullish things happen for crypto, like for example having a pro-crypto president for the first time in the US history, the approval of massive ETFs, for example the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF, and more recently the Solana ETF, and the fact that we finally have the Crypto Clarity Act coming soon, it doesn't necessarily matter because we've had a lack of liquidity in the markets, so people just don't necessarily have the money to be spending on crypto. So the fact that quantitative tightening is officially coming to an end in just a few days should undoubtedly help the crypto market in the long run. Also, guys, another thing that's happening on December 1st is we have some critical labor data being released by the Fed. So as long as this comes in line with what Jerome Powell needs in order to see a rate cut, it will be very bullish for the market. So guys, I don't really expect this to change much in terms of the odds of getting a rate cut, because as you guys can see here, we are sitting at an 86% chance. So unless this data just comes in way better than expected and the Fed just no longer thinks they need to worry about the labor market, then I think that it won't change very much. So I'm not too worried about it. However, these things always cause volatility in the crypto space, so just be expecting some potential ups and downs in the coming days prior to this data release. So yeah, guys, overall, I am feeling very bullish on the crypto market right now. I know that there's a lot of people out there that think that we're undoubtedly going into a bear market, and it's honestly frustrating for me to even read those comments, because a lot of people just think that they know for sure what's going to happen in the short term, but that's just not the case, guys. I mean, you could be the best technical analyst in the entire world, and you would know that it's impossible to know for sure what will happen. So if you're one of those people and you think that you undoubtedly know that crypto is going to crash for the next couple of months because it's in line with the 4-year halving cycle, I would rethink that mindset and consider some of these macro events that are coming in 2026. Because I do personally believe that what's happening in the macro is way more significant than the 4-year halving cycle. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Sorry I didn't post for the past couple of days. I just got really busy with Thanksgiving and whatnot. But I will be back, and I will be making a video most likely tomorrow and every day next week. So yeah, guys, have a great weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.